Today, we want to talk about filling out a property condition report. If you're a seller and you've invited your realtor over and went through the discussions and they hand you that 7 or 8 page property condition report, I don't like filling them out, and I know you don't either, but they are super important, and I'm here today to tell you how to do one correctly and how to make it benefit you as a seller, and of course, it benefits the buyer as well. So it's very helpful to you if you do it the way I'm going to teach you, and it's very helpful to the buyer as well, and it should add value to your home and maybe pick you up a few extra bucks, right? That's what I'm here to do, is help you make more money selling your home. You're getting ready to sell your home, and you've talked to your agent, and they recommend that you fill out a property condition report. And on this report, it talks about every aspect of your house. The appliances that are staying, are they working? What about the roof? What do you know about the roof? Guttering. On the property condition report, you pick it up and you're like, oh my gosh, there's pages of checks and yes and no, and it seems to be tedious. However, what I want you to do is pick that up and look at it as an opportunity. When it asks you, does the range work? The range works, mark yes, but then go into more depth. If there's not a line on the paper, don't worry about it. Just write it in a white blank space. The range is 2 years old. Receipt is part of documentation. If you have bought the range and you still have the receipt, give it to your real estate agent so that they can put it on the multiple listing documents and that people can see it. The refrigerator has a solid gold ice maker. Whatever you're doing, make sure they know. The garbage disposal was replaced 5 years ago. Receipt is in the documents. As you can see, I'm keen on receipts. But, if those people are adding up a $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 range, that adds up to your price, right? They need to know you spent that money. If you don't have a receipt, put that number on there. Range was replaced 6 months ago. The approximate cost, $1,500. Then if you have something that is not staying with the property, like you are taking the refrigerator, let's say you're not taking the refrigerator, do not mark it as working because that indicates it's staying. Mark the part that says not staying. On a property condition report, if you have a problem, you need to tell the buyer about the problem. Or, for instance, if you've had a problem and you fixed it, maybe you had a leak in your roof and you replaced the roof and this has been taken care of and checked, make sure they know. Once again, if you have receipts, give them those. If you don't have receipts, put down when it was done and approximate cost are nice. Use that PCR to tell people what they need to know about your property, but also use it as a brag sheet. Anything a buyer should need to know about a property should be on that property condition report. And if there's not a line to make a note, just go over to the side and make your own note and let them know about this. Part of a property condition report, you can also make your own list that attaches to it. Neat things you can put on there are yard modifications like directions for the sprinkler system. If you collect different flowers, like my mother collected iris, map those out so that the people buying your property knows where the iris are and what the name of them are. Those are valuable. I would want to know that. Wouldn't you want to know that? Tell them about their fruit trees. When do they bear? What kind? Make sure they know what they are. All of that stuff is vital to your property. Go through that property condition report intentionally and use it as a brag sheet. If you've got something nice and new about your home, make sure they know. All of these things the buyer needs to know. And it helps them feel comfortable about your house because they can see that you've been involved in the maintenance of this property and you're offering them your home in the best condition that you can. When you do that property condition report, slow down, take it careful, go intentionally and think about each one. And if you've replaced something, make sure they know about that. If that garage door opener's been replaced or repaired, whatever the situation is, make sure they know about it. Now, there's one thing I want to caution you about on the property condition report. Don't do this on the property condition report. Do not guess. Please do not guess. If they ask about the amperage of the electrical box or any of that stuff and you go, I'm not sure, that is a good answer. I'm not sure. I do not know. That's the right answer. Don't guess. Your agent can find the answer maybe. Maybe they hire an electrician that comes and looks and finds out exactly what the amperage is of the breaker box. But you, Mr. Seller, do not guess. Okay. Most buyers are fine if you tell them, hey, whatever, this problem happens, this breaker trips when you do this. It's the problem happens when they buy the home and then they find out that you didn't tell them. That's when they're angry. Just tell them up front if you have a problem, or fix the problem and tell them how you fixed it. That's a good option too. Now, here's a little story. So I sold a home for a friend and they filled out the property condition report. And they had had a big rain and their yard had not been graded properly. That's in another video, but their yard had not been graded properly, so when the water come down that hill pretty hard, it got up against the back of the house and run in the basement windows. Of course, they got water down behind their paneling and water in the carpet, and they had to clean all that up and turn in an insurance claim and all that. If they hadn't have told me, I wouldn't have known, because they had done a very good job of it. However, they did disclose this on the property condition report, just for the new buyer to know that it had happened and that they did need to watch their yard grading, so that future events wouldn't happen. Guess what happened? It wasn't 2 hours after the moving truck moved up into the driveway and the new buyer's unloading into their new home, then around the corner here comes the neighbor, and he's telling them all kinds of good stuff, and he gets right to the part, but did they tell you that basement leaked? Yes, they did. They explained it. And then he was able to say, yeah, they did grade the yard and they did do all that stuff. But the moral of the story is, if you don't tell them about these things, the neighbor's going to come and tell them. So if you fix the problem, just tell them what happened, how you fixed it, and move on. Property condition reports, they can be a great thing for you. So take your time, intentionally fill them out. Make sure that you tell them all of the great things you've done. Provide as many receipts as possible. Disclose anything that has failed or been failing or is fixed and whatever. Make sure they know about that. And just use it as a brag sheet. And if you have other things they need to know about, be sure and add an additional sheet to tell them about things that you appreciate about your property, or things that they're going to find out after they move there that they could really enjoy as much as you have. Do not fear a property condition report. Use it as a brag sheet. Fill it out intentionally. Be honest, and do not ever guess on one. If you don't know, mark DK. Right? Hopefully this helps you make a good property condition report turn into a very profitable thing for you. As always, I want you to have a blessed day.